Hey buddy, watch this.
Hello, Regis Kilbin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game, and welcome to another Decksperiment, in which I try to create a fun, crazy, competitive deck, but don't really know exactly what I'm doing, but hopefully find the right cards and the right pieces, and explain the process along the way so that we can all be better deck builders and think about cards in the correct way when assembling or putting together decks ourselves. So today I actually want to make a deck based on the card Yogg-Saron Hope's End. It's still day one for Whispers of the Old Gods, and of course I want to play most of the Old Gods, particularly this one because it has one of the craziest effects that the game has ever seen. And since this effect is based on spells primarily, I think I want to build my Yogg-Saron deck in Mage. In other words, Tempo Yogg-Saron Mage. So let's go ahead and pick our Mage, and we want to make a custom one, of course. We'll call this the Yogg-Saron Tempo, and we'll save that. And this will be a standard format deck. So no wild cards in this one just yet. We want to see what we can create in standard. And naturally, we do want Yogg-Saron as our first card, but where do we go from here? So I called this a Tempo Mage. Now, Tempo Mage is traditionally not a late game oriented card. In other words, it's early to mid game with a couple late game cards sprinkled in, but it's not necessarily designed to last forever. But Yogg-Saron is a 10 mana card, so you do have to make it pretty far into the game to take advantage of his effect. So I want a Tempo Mage that's skewed just a little bit more heavily towards the late game. So it'll still have some early game answers and lots of cheap spells, but has some resources to survive until turn 10, or at least some card draw to keep it competitive until we're able to play Yogg-Saron and hopefully end the game. Although if the deck is built successfully, we probably won't have to rely on Yogg-Saron so much. So let's go ahead and start out with minions that we know we want to play. And we do have this set to standard format, of course, so we won't be seeing any goblins versus gnomes or Naxxramas cards. We do like Mana Worm a lot. I think we like Arcane Missiles a lot, but potentially that is a card that we could lose just because it's a pretty low mana cost. We definitely need some Frostbolts. We probably want Sorcerer's Apprentices just because they have some value both early and late. Arcane Intellect is fantastic because it's not only a spell, but also gives us some card draw to last into the late game. Flame Wakers are definitely a fundamental part of Tempo Mage, so we'll keep those. I don't really see anything on this page that I like too much. An Ice Block could almost make sense, but I think we'll pass. I also sometimes like Spell Slingers just because they increase the depth of your hand. Fireballs are great. Demented Frostcaller is a potential option just because it also has lots of spell synergies and can help stall the board out with freezes. But I think it might just be a little too expensive for its body and run too similarly to Flame Waker in its effect, so we'll have to look back at that one. Ethereal Conjurers are still very good. I'm a little bit tempted by Kabbalist's Tome, as it is a spell that gives you 3 more spells. So we'll add that in now, but we might actually lose it as we pick up more minions, because I think we're going to be just a little bit light on minions. I do think Servant of Yogg-Saron has to go on the deck, mainly because of its name. But I also think it has a pretty neat battle cry and a similar mentality to Yogg-Saron, kind of that chaotic mentality. So it's also a mid-range drop at 5, so it could give us some depth. So we'll keep that in for now. I want an Archmage Antonidas for sure. I think Faceless Summoner is good just because it's a great card and a late-game body. So we'll go ahead and add that in too, since it is an Old Gods card and we want to see it in action, right? As far as other minions are concerned, I want to look through the Old Gods minions to see if there's anything that's really calling my name that has some synergies with spells or perhaps spell damage. So far, nothing's jumping out at me. I also wouldn't mind some survival type cards like Taunts or just a straight up heal, because I think they're good to get us to Yogg-Saron. Ancient Harbinger might not be bad either because it will just draw us that Yogg-Saron so we know it's coming. But I think that's still just too unnecessary, and the body is too weak to really make it valuable. This is cool, but a Cthulhu card, of course. So I don't really see anything here that stands out. What does Validated Doomsayer do? No, I don't think that's going to work. I would like some area of effect clear more than we have right now. So I think perhaps a Flame Strike could be beneficial just to give us a late game answer. I might just run one though. A little bit tempted by Ronin as well, late game body that gives us 3 spells for Yogg-Saron. A Blizzard could also work, but I think for now the Flame Strike will do, because we also have Ethereal Conjurers. So I want to look at my curve as I fill out these last 3 cards, or 4 cards. We're still light on 4 drops. We have a lot of 5 drops, which is solid, but we don't have enough card draw. I think we still need Azure Drakes. So we might have to give up a 5 drop. Unfortunately, I think it's Servant of Yogg-Saron. Actually, no. We'll give up Ethereal Conjurers first. Servant of Yogg-Saron has a slightly better body, and the spell is cast instantly. I think it still triggers Yogg-Saron's effect. So it's a little bit quicker getting the spells out than is Conjurer, and we're probably not going to have like a big board at any point, so the risk of this effect harming us is low compared to harming our opponent. So I think we'll stick with Servant of Yogg-Saron, but I do want a couple Azure Drakes, which is why I removed that minion to make room at the 5 spot, and I still need a 4 mana minion. So is there anything that really looks good to us? Water Elementals are surprisingly good in Tempo Mage style decks, but I want to look at neutral minions as well. Nothing here. Elite Starseeker is fun, but I don't think that's it. Faceless Shambler, actually kind of intriguing because we do have some big minions. But I think that's really more of a late game card, so I think I have to pass again. Infested Tauren is a nifty taunt that's at 4 mana, but I think Sinjin Shieldmaster is usually still just better. Polluted Hoarder is intriguing because of the card draw, but I think I'll have to pass. Spellbreaker Silence isn't bad. We could also maybe just use some hard removal, like a Polymorph. I think I have some golden Polymorphs. Just because I expect a little bit of a control-heavy bias to the latter, given Old Gods being released today. Maybe an Arcane Blast would work, but I don't think we have enough card draw to support that necessarily. I guess we could run some Secrets or Forgotten Torch. I think Secrets got a little worse without Mad Scientist. Forgotten Torch is still pretty good because it does give us additional spells into our deck. And gives us some removal and straight up damage. But I'm convinced we still might need an early game minion to help us combat aggression. And I think maybe it's Spellslinger. An underutilized card. It gives us a spell for Yogg-Saron. It develops a body. I think this might work. A little bit of a bias towards 3 and 5, but still a smooth enough curve and some late game power options and Antonidas, Ronin, and of course Yogg-Saron as well. So let's try this out. This looks like my Yogg-Saron kind of mid-range Tempo Mage, if you will. So I'd like to see this bad boy in action. So let's take it out onto the ladder and see if this Decksperiment succeeds or fails. Now keep in mind, this is really late in the season, and I'm still only ranked 12 because I have been a lazy ladderer. So we probably won't run into any super competitive decks or people. But it'll give us a good chance to test out the Yogg-Saron Tempo Mage. And hopefully we actually get to see Yogg-Saron go off and do some crazy stuff, because I hear it's a lot of fun. Now, I'm tempted to keep him in my opening hand, but obviously that would be a bad mistake. He's not a good card to mulligan. We're looking for our Mana Worms and our cheap spells and anything that we can get out early. So there you go. That's one of those. Two of those. Not a bad hand. We'll definitely play this on turn 1. An ideal play. I'm a little concerned our deck doesn't have enough taunts or heals to like survive to make stuff like Kabbalist Tome gain value in the late game. But as long as we don't fall too far behind, I think we'll be okay. This would be a dream if the Arcane Missiles kills that Flame Imp. If not, we won't trade. We'll just go face. That's brutal. So he's going to get a free trade here. But the reason I didn't trade is because it makes no difference. I get 2 free damage here, right? So I can ping it off if for some reason he doesn't trade. But he will, of course, trade. So I don't have a play here. I'm going to have to ping this. And again, I'll go face because there's no reason not to. He's going to make the trade for me. So it just gives me 2 free damage. He's already kind of taking a lot of damage, so... that's a great play. We don't have a 4-drop right now. Yeah, this is bad. We got a cool 5 mana play, but we definitely like to do more than that on turn 4. 4 was the weak spot in our curve. Remember, I said we had 3s and 5s, but no 4s, and so far we're seeing that in action. Alright, so let's see how this works. Thought Steal, that's actually pretty cool. Oh, that's a good one too. Mortal Coil's not bad either. That's more spells for us. I think I may Servant and Mortal Coil again, but Defender of Argus is actually an option if he... Nope, he traded, okay. So I'll Mortal Coil one of these guys first to see what I get. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Frostbolt Spellslinger is actually a decent play as well. I think I'm going to do that instead, because Spellslinger trades just as effectively as Servant of Yogg-Saron. They both have 4 health. So they'll die to the same stuff, and 3 health kills everything on this board. So the 5 health is not beneficial in any way. So I'll Spellslinger first to see what card I get. Oh, Shield Block's actually awesome. And then I'm going to Frostbolt this guy. I could Frostbolt here, but that actually leaves him more power on the board right now. And I'm more interested in slowing him down a little bit than I am in pure value. And this still trades, so I'm just going to Mortal Coil that. In other words, I'm not anxious to give him the second half of the body. I'm happy to wait. Here I'm just going to Servant and maybe Sorcerer's Apprentice, depending on what happens. Okay. That's actually not the worst thing of all time. I could ping, but there's no value, so we'll just throw this out as a body. I know it's a free trade for him in many ways, but if he decides to get greedy and go face, then I'll get some super good value out of it. And next turn, I might Shield Block and play something else. We'll see what we get. The Curse was good. It forced him to take 2... spend 2 extra mana. Save me some health. So I could go ahead and Archmage, Antonidas, and Arcane Missiles. I actually think that's a solid play just because I think it's going to be tough for him to kill this. And I don't really need the Archmage to go crazy. I just need... value, and I need a body, and this is the only good minion I can play right now. If this were to get a kill on the Shattered Sun, that would be amazing, but I'm really just throwing it out for perhaps some extra face damage. There you go. Or just a fireball, really, was the goal. If he doesn't kill this now, we just have lethal. And he has to kill it. We have, yeah, that's good for us. See, this is basically a taunt in this scenario, which is definitely why we wanted it. I can't kill him yet. I can do 7 damage, so I'm going to go ahead and play this guy, and probably a Shield Block. Alright, that's awesome. That's a good body. Doesn't trade very cleanly for him. So we'll also Shield Block. I guess theoretically I should have Shield Blocked first, just to see what I got. I don't think it mattered too much, but this is such a good card. We got 9/8 in stats for only 6 mana. That is awesome. Alright, another Argus. So do we have lethal in any shape or form here? We can trade here. We can polymorph that. Oh, I think I do have lethal. We trade, we polymorph, or vice versa. We go to 5 to face. We have 6 mana remaining, which is 6 to face is 11. Yeah, we have lethal. Okay. All right, so actually pretty neat little game there. I thought he got a good start on us, and we had a bad turn 4. It looked like he was going to get ahead, which as Zoo is great, and kind of just steamroll it. Oh, sick! 5 gods packs, cool. But we actually recovered there and snuck out a win. That's pretty good. 5 more old gods packs, cool. Like to do that. So let's play a couple more games with our Yogg-Saron tempo. We still want to get to Yogg-Saron, of course. A recent opponent would like to be my friend. Let's go ahead and see what he has to say. Hopefully we don't embarrass him too much on video. I always think this is curious. So here, obviously our 8 and our 5 are a little too slow. I think our poly's too slow, but it never hurts to keep a Flame Waker just in case. Remember, this deck is not all about Flame Wakers. It's really about late game stuff happening. So sometimes if we just play this for a little bit of value, it's fine. So far we have not received a chat from our recent opponent. Maybe he just really wants to be friends. I don't think anything crazy enough happened that he'd be particularly frustrated. So of course we could coin something out here. Coin sorcerers is a possibility, but I don't see any reason to rush just yet. It's likely he's a Zoo style deck, but who knows? He could be a late game deck too. So we'll just wait and pool our resources. The more you can save the coin for Flame Waker, the better off you're typically going to be. I'll just Frostbolt this. There's no reason to get fancy here. I can actually Flame Waker coin Arcane Missiles next turn, so I hate to use the 3 damage spell on what's a pretty weak minion, but since I have a good follow-up and I don't want him to go crazy on anything. So this is a Cthulhu deck. Interesting. So that Polymorph's going to be very handy, perhaps, if we survive the Cthulhu. I could still do the Flame Waker coin Arcane Missiles, but I'll feel pretty bad if it doesn't kill this thing. Yeah, it's probably not going to kill it. Nope. So he's got a decent trade there. Probably. He needs 1 damage, of course, but we can still 2 mana next turn, so. Cthulhu Warlock is intriguing. I'm excited to see this one in action. Maybe Flame Strike will be good, maybe not. He's really thinking about something. He has to kill this, I think, or he's just too susceptible. This is going to get pinged off no matter what, probably, in his mind. And it's probably true. Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion +1/+1. I just don't love this card. I don't see what this card does well. It's just so slow to me. It's only 2/2 in total stats, and it's not guaranteed. And so, for instance, like he's gonna waste it right here. I'm gonna go ahead and play this body. I'm likely gonna Azure Drake next turn, not use the spell, but I like to have the body out there. I don't really foresee this. No. I was about to say, I don't really foresee this dying. I was wrong. So we'll Azure Drake instead of Yogg-Saron. The problem with Yogg-Saron right now is that if it's a damage spell or something, it's like a 50-50. I'd rather cast this when he's up on the board. That may never happen again, so I may have made a mistake, but I just like getting the Azure Drake out first, because that gets me cards I know are going to work with my deck in some way or another. Plus, if you play something big, we have the spell damage, and I have a feeling on turn 6 he is going to play something big. That's not big, but scary. Not scary at all, actually. So we can Frostbolt ping here pretty effectively. But he did just draw a lot of cards. I may not have anything else to do with my next turn, but that'll be fine. I'm okay with spending 4 mana this way. Actually, that's a great option. Spell power did work out nicely. We'll ping here and we'll go face. I can't imagine this is a Reno Cthulhu deck, but it just occurred to me that that is a possibility. I'm not going to be willing to waste damage until I have lethal, I think. Save that fireball. Oh, that's cool. It's a good scarab draw. I don't actually have a clean kill on this. Let's Spellslinger first. We may ping trade. A good spell here might... we'll save that, actually, until we do this. I don't know what else I'm going to use this on, but it is pretty good with Antonidas as a 0 mana spell, so maybe I'll just save it for that. He could Mortal Coil this, but it's not that big of a loss. I still have another minion. 2 mana or 2 health heal is not that great, even for 0 mana. So I'm going to save this as a potential spell synergy card with Flamewaker or Antonidas. How much damage could I have done last turn? I didn't even do a lethal check, but I had 7, 10, I had 13. But I guess he was at... no, he was at 17, so I was actually close to lethal. Should have checked that first. I still will be next turn if he doesn't clean this up. I guess I only had 10. This wasn't able to attack yet, was it? Whoa! That's pretty cool. So I could fireball that. Oh, I can just flame strike trade. Yeah, I'll just flame strike here. And I'll trade this way, and I actually will use this now. Because it buffs the attack here, which is nice, and sets up lethal next turn. I guess I probably had lethal next turn anyway, but it just makes this more likely to survive and give me options next turn to win. I could have also traded the Mana Worm in. Would have cost me some damage. See, this would have died right now to Demon Wrath, so that actually made a huge difference. I'm gonna attack with this first, and then I'm gonna play this guy. I attacked first because there's a chance this will die to this card's effect. I've actually seen worse outcomes. I'm just going to ping face here instead of fireballing anything. He might have a Reno, like I mentioned earlier, so I don't want to waste damage until I know it's going to work. I think this is probably just going to trade here. He's used a lot of AoE, so I doubt he can kill this without using his BGH. I could have just played Ronin that turn too, but I thought I had a chance at maybe digging out a lethal. So, do I have a lethal here, maybe? It's going to be 12 damage. Oh, no, he's trading. Never mind. 6 damage. 7 damage. I'm going to Servant again. Actually, I'm going to test out a synergy first. I don't know if this procs Flamewaker or not. I think it will. Ah, that backfired. It does not proc Flamewaker. Okay, so we're learning. That cast a random spell may not proc for Yogg-Saron either then. I'm not really sure. But I inadvertently gave him a chance to kill my Flamewaker, which kind of sucks. But if he doesn't kill this thing, we have lethal yet again, so he's going to have to find something. Siphon Soul's good. It's good. That makes our Ronin a little stickier, though. I think I can just play this. I could polymorph that thing, but I don't mind if the Ronin dies to it, right? So, because then we get a ton of spells, which is awesome. So if he finds a way to kill this, trade, you know, Mortal Coil, Hellfire, whatever it is, I'm okay. Because there's a very good chance if we get 3 Arcane Missiles and a Fireball, he'll just be dead next turn. Especially if I polymorph first. And of course a trade here would be totally fine because that kills a 6/6 on his side. Still want to see my Yogg-Saron though, I'll tell you that. Ah, cool. Fun card. I still don't know how he deals with this, though. 4 mana is not a lot. Taunt's pretty good, though. Taunt's pretty good. I can trade Fireball to clear. I could also just double Polymorph and go face. Do I do it? I gotta do it. It's probably a bad play, but this might be my only chance. So I'm gonna trade first, just in case this thing dies to something. I'm gonna say greetings for fun, and I'm gonna play this bad boy. I don't think this is the best play, by the way. I think this is the worst play. I think I could have fireballed, traded, you know, maybe polymorphed, who knows? But there's even a chance I had lethal, but. No, there's not, because it would have been too much mana. So we're just going to play Yogg-Saron, see what happens. Let's get out of the way. Heroic Strike, who's it hitting? Oh, that goes to my face. Mind Control? What? Innervate? No! Oh, no! Twisting Nether, crap. I think I have lethal, though. Yeah, I do. Wow. Fun play. The Twisting Nether actually worked out. The Mind Control is amazing. Oh, Yogg-Saron is cool. Wow. I actually think this deck has some legs, by the way. This is not a bad little deck I've put together, perhaps. It seems like a lot of fun. That's actually going to wrap it up for my Yogg-Saron Tempo Mage. I gotta go eat dinner soon, so I don't want to take too long with this bad boy. But let's take a look at this list one more time. Arcane Missiles, Mana Worm, Frostbolt, Apprentice, Intellect, Flamewaker, Slinger, Fireball, Polymorph, Tome, I haven't got to use that yet, Azure Drake, Servant of Yogg-Saron, Faceless Summoner, Flame Strike, Archmage, Antonidas, Ronin, and Yogg-Saron, Hope's End. I might swap out the Tome eventually just to get some more active stuff that can respond to the board a little more quickly. Because we had plenty of spells casted by Yogg-Saron right there. So I don't think you necessarily need 4 extra spells from 1 card, right, to make this thing work. So pretty entertaining. Fun and perhaps even competitive deck. If you have any questions about this one, just let me know in the comments. I'm happy to discuss it with you. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time with more Decksperiments, game on.